sleep with the lights on. Nightmares was always seen stepping out the front door. The black was a war zone. What you think I keep a gun for? Try to fight at me and my team, nigga, you fuck. A crowd of niggas, that's for the young boy on the pump sport. Ride, my nigga, just ride. Beat it on it right now. No gloves when you done, give the eyes a wipe down. All day I dream about straps, we got stripes now. Don't get ahead of yourself. They knock your lights out.
680 News Time, 6:48.
Restrictions to public life are beginning to lift in the Chinese province where the novel coronavirus originated, as officials in the UK and elsewhere in Europe ramp up their efforts to stop the spread. 680's Laura Carney joins us live with a look at how the pandemic is unfolding around the world. Laura and Catherine in the UK, despite an order from British Prime Minister Boris Johnson to halt all non-essential activity for 3 weeks, pictures from this morning's commute still showing packed trains, confusion apparently over who is still allowed to go to work. London Mayor Sadiq Khan.
No, you really have to get to work, must be getting to work. It is the problem. People who are self-employed, people who work in the economy, people who still work, can't get money back on the table.
There's been a rapid increase in the number of deaths, the third most in the world, and the number of cases also up significantly from yesterday, nearly 6,000, inching closer to that 40,000 mark. CNN's Al Goodman is in Madrid, where city authorities have had to turn an ice rink into a makeshift morgue. Province, the city of Wuhan, though, where the outbreak started in late December, will remain locked down until April 8th. Reporting live, Laura Carney, 680 News. Coming up in 60 seconds, we'll have traffic and weather together.
680 News Time, 6:50.
The Power of Zero sales event at Von Chrysler. It's back for a limited time with 0% financing options. Don't miss this sales event and take advantage of huge savings now. Get up to 35% on all remaining in-stock Rams. Get 23% off the limited X model Grand Cherokee, featuring luxurious interiors and stylish exteriors. Act fast though, Von Chrysler has less than 10 left to choose from, and you don't want to miss this special edition. Drop by for all the details or visit VonChrysler.com or at Weston Road and Highway 407.
Trev.ca is the fastest way to get real estate listings in real time. In fact, it's so fast. In the time it takes me to tell you this, I could have reached out to a Trev member realtor, checked out about a half dozen property listings, skimmed a couple of market reports, crunched some numbers with their land transfer tax calculator, spotted my dream home, moved in, and had a nap. So what are you waiting for? Be fast. Be first. For all your real estate needs, choose Trev.ca. Powered by Trev's MLS system with exposure to 60,000 realtor users.
680 News Time, 6:51.
Time for 680 News. Traffic and weather together on the ones. For Seneca, here is Zach Bodenstein.
Dealing with a little bit of a slowdown right now on the eastbound Gardner from about Jameson to just east of Dufferin. It's starting to ease, but looking at the camera, a bit busier than normal. No problems in that area. Again, it is just volume. Meantime, the southbound 404 DVP finally in good shape as you make your way towards the downtown area. It's looking good northbound as well. 401 east-west, north-south 400. Those are all in really good shape and not seeing anything on the QEW. A little bit of construction setup. Shepherd.
Fuck this shit, man. Yo, I live in 10 square feet. My chain is missing and my fucking power bar exploded. Like, what the fuck? Fuck all this shit, man. You're a bunch of pussy holes. I know what you're doing. Oh, big bad scary voodoo.
Like the opera, hit black like Cobra, straight King Cobra, top left over your heart, shoots through shoulders, it burns like like second degree, but who's stepping to me? Please free, right hand like a check to the free. Niggas move calm and collected. That chain ain't shit unless your farm can protect it. My farm can protect mine. Empty up the tech line. I don't give a fuck about jail or loot this time. Feds found your body in the building cause we killed you. Like who's realer? Got tools like Bob the Builder. All I really wanted was a gun and a vest. Like who's next? They get shot in my complex and I'm straight stressed. Rob money when time's less. I'll take a nigga's best, I'll leave a nigga timeless. I grew up with no motivation. Drive right past the cops and investigations. Born with no registration. Pull me over like, sir, we arresting you. Shotgun, stolen car, cats off the register. You say tomato, well I say tomato. West End Toronto, squirt heat like volcanoes. I must confess, my life ain't picture perfect. Was outside, now fucking hurting. All I got left is pride and my dignity. The finger in the middle if you ain't digging me. My family matters, the big guy, Carl Winslow. Monitor the badge with big straps, blast windows. Stay cool like the other side of the pillow. I serve shots like the fox on the pumpkin fiddle. Don't know your name, so you better take it slow, dog. Yo, MCA, where the fuck's can't know, dog? You little faggots better run up, cause I won't stop till the zipper on my body bag is done up. Heard you got drugs, then Jeezy's gon' pick up.
It's metal.
With this lip up, bitch, fuck this stick up. 7-5 block, buck shots, you'll get lit up. Beat backs like a hiccup, burn laps like a sit up, nigga.
Man, I've had so many things get taken out of my house with nobody being in and out somehow.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Christ.
This is the least amount of problem we encountered recording a song so far.
Coming up the wood, I'm a tough motherfucker. Slumming with the sword, I'm a rough motherfucker. They don't wanna catch me at my best, but at my worst. And that's exactly why I gotta put them in the dirt. You should see it's going away. Watch me hit them where it hurts. Watch me fucking hit them first. Watch me put them in a hearse. Drinking blood and quench my thirst. Catch a charge with their reverse. This OG kinda curse. FTP across my shit. Yeah, fuck the population. Fuck your life and occupation. I'ma watch you run away. It look like immigration.
Same rugby sweater since high school. Drugs out the vial, I'm vile, more screens and vials. Survival of the fittest, I'm a walking pandemic. Try to take on me and do the jogging man with it. What's a champion scene without some sadness up in it? I know the world is ours, I'm just having a minute. Another dead man walking with a casket is in it. It's either a bucket or a habit I'm kicking. Conscience roll caller, is it casting auditions? If you notice I ain't present, it's cause the past isn't finished.
Coming for the throat of anyone that is my enemy. Listen, little bitch, this is not what I pretend to be. Send an army, send your troops, send them in with camo suits. Come and catch me, make me pay. Or boy till my dying day. Or boy till my dying day.
Where's the water? What the fuck? Where did water come from?
Fucking misfit with his fucking wrist. Hit you with my fist, bitch. Bring it red like Christmas. Death is on my wish list.
5 minutes ago, 4 fucking things has already gone wrong that can't go wrong. Nobody knows that.
And it's their loss. No cat, no strings attached. Fucking weird flaws. Down Jones crash. How we share flaws. Give the empathy in my epitaph. Epithet. Y'all my nemesis. Yeah, I said that with emphasis. Ain't no common ground or no common sense. Fuck your comments, that's the consequence when you on the fence. Killing will, all my head is feral. I can't call them off. I can't call it dog. Shit, I'm probably wrong. Stay lifted and twisted like a fucking polygon. If you feeling froggy, get knocked back to a polywall.
So you'll see the black dove. So don't push no more. When it comes to push and shove, I'll put you through the floor. Someone come and catch some smoke. I swear you'll be the one that choke. When I'm fucking angry, bitch, I'ma wipe out all your hope. I'ma smoke your fucking dope. Cut you up like cantaloupe. Send you to the North Pole. Inside of an envelope. Bloody up my swords again. Demons always play pretend. Cut them up with just a pen. I'm something you can't comprehend. Against me, you cannot defend.
That equates to $1.5 billion. That's some form not spend sensibly this year because of the dramatic drop-off in energy prices. All of the Canadian energy heavyweights are making similar moves, including Canadian Natural Resources, Cenovus, Enbridge. They're all kind of planning because, let's face it, the cash flow will not be there on a quarterly basis with the price for oil in the low $20 per barrel range. And the Canadian slash price has been in the tens of dollars most recently. And some operates Petro-Canada, which is going to see its margin squeeze because the price for gas continues to fall. On Monday, we saw the wholesale price for gasoline, refined gasoline on international markets drop by an astonishing 32%. And this is on top of what has already transpired in the energy market. The net result, price at the pumps this time tomorrow here in the GTA will be down another 8 cents in the early forecast to below 66 cents per liter. The Toronto stock market was slammed to the canvas Monday with a drop of more than 600 points, and the Dow dropped over 500 to multi-year lows. This after the U.S. Senate failed in its second attempt to pass a more than $2 trillion stimulus plan. Now this morning, again, optimism has returned to some extent. We've got the stock futures on Wall Street limit up, with the Dow futures pointing to a gain of more than 900 points. And that's an equation, it equates to about 5%, which was
niggas since kindergarten.
Shoot stupid kicks in the top. And I make the coke black when I'm in the market. I make the price drop like I'm in the target. I'm like a holy prophet.
Record high, record low, 4 weeks apart.
Shut up my gun, my extender. 10.5 in my extender. 2 extra clips for extra shit. Each whole second you getting blessed with it. Yeah, I got so much beat, my ex just with it. Right, it was eye for an eye. Old Testament word. The bottom of wells, my heart dwells. Treating these waters like shark tails. Word. My homie got lashed, was all bail. I had waved the shit. Got tobacco with full bail. The rats used to see me on range and go tell. Catch him at court, stopping with Jordans like Montel. Swear to God, I would never pray to Jesus. For the extras, I'ma skip the Pico. Every day I pay for new AKs, like Pablo. Every day I pay for new AKs, El Chapo. Every day I pay for new AKs, like Pablo. Every day I pay for new AKs, El Chapo. Every day I pay for new AKs, like Pablo. Every day I pay for new AKs, El Chapo. Every day I pay for new AKs, like Pablo. Every day I pay for new AKs. Look, the hottest kid in the kitchen, I've been nice. Thoughts of you double crossing me, think twice. Gold chains, gold in my mouth, case full of ammunition. Cocaine on my nosebleed, that's a Kathy Griffin. Bullets light up the night sky and they blame me, boy. Magnums in the back of the whip, they call me baby, boy. My ATL sending your section 80, boy. The fuck do you think the mafia pay me for? Young, rich, and handsome, bullets like an anthem. When they started singing, everybody put their hands up. Ain't nobody been doing the shit that I do. Dark boy, how many hoes can I fit inside you? Scratched up with lines around them like the kids of I know. Put up with them, I can fry them like this shit's a drive-thru. Angels will find you, but I would never pray to Jesus. For the extras, I'ma scrape the beakers. Yeah. Every day I pay for new AKs, like Pablo. Every day I pay for new AKs, El Chapo. Every day I pay for new AKs, like Pablo. Every day I pay for new AKs, El Chapo. Every day I pay for new AKs, like Pablo. Every day I pay for new AKs, El Chapo. Every day I pay for new AKs, like Pablo.
Businesses through the COVID-19 pandemic, but there was some last-minute drama over a controversial addition by the Trudeau government.
What does that mean?
The CHL season shell Memorial Cup canceled. While it looks like the IOC will indeed postpone the Olympics, sports at 15. Stock futures looking strong, but it follows a Monday meltdown for equity trade. The price for gas set to drop again later.
Can't even use a magnet to find it because it's stainless fucking steel.
This is the 26.
680 News Time, 7:01.
Traffic and weather brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Here's Zach Bodenstein.
And we have a new problem on the westbound 401 collision at the 400 Indy Collectors, left lane blocked, and there is an emergency vehicle on scene. There is no delay, though, traveling through that area, which is good news. Still moving relatively well despite that problem. Meantime, it's really the only issue on the drive that we have. The rest of the 401 looks good, east and west, and we have the 400 DVP 404, the Kiwi Gardner in solid shape. Construction Shepherd just east of the 400, only one lane getting through from Oakdale to Laura. Missing the sweet sizzle of St. Louis. You can now still enjoy the comfort food you need right now from St. Louis Bar and Grill with takeout and delivery. Visit stlouiswings.com for participating locations. With the forecast, here's Jill Taylor.
A couple of calm weather days for us. We'll have sun and cloud today with a guaranteed high 6 degrees. Mainly clear tonight, the low near 2. Right now it's 2 degrees, mostly cloudy at 680 News and at Pearson. A guaranteed high 6. 680 News Time, 7:02.
The province has unveiled a list of businesses allowed to stay open after ordering the closure of non-essential businesses at midnight tonight in the bid to curb the spread of COVID-19.
680's Kevin Meisner joins us live from Queen's Park with a look at what workplaces are considered essential. Kevin.
Well, Catherine, many of those workplaces and services deemed essential make sense. Grocery stores, pharmacies, hospitals, medical clinics, electricity, gas, and water utilities, as well as telecommunications and internet providers. But also on the list, 74 types of businesses that stay open, and that includes taxi service, dry cleaners, and most construction projects, even residential. Now, beer, wine, and liquor stores, as well as the cannabis shops, will continue operating as well. Toronto Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Eileen Davila, says cutting off access to the LCBO and beer stores would actually create a dangerous health issue for a segment of the population.
That would lead to pretty significant health consequences. So I think there is a rationale, a reasonable rationale
from
for that service to continue to be provided.
Now, the LCBO does plan to close on Monday starting next week, and stores are already restricting the number of customers allowed inside. It's status quo for restaurants. They can remain open for takeout and delivery only. A detailed list of the essential service designation for businesses posted at 680news.com. Non-essential businesses and workplaces are expected to close as of 11:59 tonight and not reopen for 14 days. Premier Doug Ford has said that the government will reassess that situation in 2 weeks. As well, the Premier is expected to make an announcement about residential hydro rates later on today. The Globe and Mail is reporting that Ford will announce lower rates for the next 45 days to compensate for increased usage in homes, because many people are working from home or self-isolating. Starting Tuesday, as of today, rates will be lowered to current off-peak, overnight, and weekend charges. That's about just over 10 cents per kilowatt hour. At Queen's Park, Kevin Meisner, 680 News, 680 News Time,
7:04. A poll conducted over the weekend reveals not everyone is taking the deadly COVID-19 pandemic seriously, despite the dire warnings from governments and health officials. Our Carl Hansky joins us live from downtown with a closer look at the numbers. Carl.
Yeah, Paul, the Leger poll finds 1 in 5 Canadians believe this coronavirus pandemic is more fiction than fact.
The media is creating this mass panic, so it's creating fear.
Whether the government informs you about everything, I don't know.
That may explain why 20% of respondents say they are not practicing social distancing. This frustrated father saw thousands of students packing beaches during March break.
At 20, you feel invincible, but I'm going to tell you something. Your parents are not invincible. Your grandparents are not invincible. So smarten the F up.
1 in 5 Canadians also say they continue to regularly visit with friends and family, prompting this plea from the other 80%.
Please stay at home.
Because the 20% not taking this seriously could jeopardize efforts to flatten the curve.
B19 would have a compromised immune system. So I found out that I beat this thing. Doug Hammond of the Bloor Central Salvation Army has committed attempted murder by spitting in my face.
After plunging Monday, some sectors are trading at record-breaking levels. Mike Upple joins us live from the 680 Business Center. Mike.
Yeah, nice change of pace, Kevin. Right. Good morning. The Dow futures contract is looking up right now by almost 1,000 points. That is a gain of better than 5%. So a reversal of fortune after a sell-off Monday that was basically blamed on the U.S. Senate, which failed for a second time to pass a $2 trillion plus stimulus package. Dropped the TSX by 623 points to its lowest level in about 9 years. But investors buying in this morning, some thinking that this market has just punished some equity classes too much and too fast, and we're seeing a lot of the big names bouncing dramatically early on. The price for gold is at a record in Canadian dollars. It's north of $2,000 an ounce Canadian, trading right now at $16.78. That's up $105 US. Is there deflation risk perhaps sending some investors to gold? That's one of the assessments. And we did see the price for gasoline Monday in the international markets drop dramatically. This time tomorrow morning, we're going to be seeing the price here in the GTA down another 8 cents per liter in the early bird forecast, below 66 cents per liter on a fill-up. At the Business Center, I'm Mike Apple.
680 News Time 7:07. In the U.S., heated debate over how to best balance the health of the country with its economic health, with potentially hundreds of thousands of lives in the balance. Our Jamie Pulver's here live with reaction to the U.S. president's claims. The virtual shutdown of the U.S. amid the COVID-19 pandemic could soon be lifted. Jamie.
Yeah, Paul, here in Canada, we're cracking down. The World Health Organization warning the pandemic is accelerating. But in the U.S., it's a different story with a huge disconnect from reality.
So, yeah, it's bad. And it's going to, obviously, the numbers are going to increase with time, and then they're going to start to decrease. And we're going to be opening our country up for business because our country was meant to be open.
So President Donald Trump says he's ready to get America open for business soon, hoping to end social distancing as early as next week. The Lieutenant Governor of Texas is on board, speaking to Tucker Carlson on Fox News.
Don't sacrifice the country. Don't do that. Don't ruin.
So you're basically saying that this disease could take your life, but that's not the scariest thing to you. There's something that would be worse than dying.
Yeah.
All of this happening on the deadliest day in the U.S. so far. More than 500 now dead, more than 40,000 infected. New York City, the hardest hit. The hashtag Trump lies, Americans die, now trending online. Others are saying this is insane. Now we see the ugliest face of capitalism revealed. Reporting live, Jamie Pulver, 680 News.
680 News Time 7:08. The House of Commons being recalled today to pass the Trudeau government's $82 billion financial aid package for workers and businesses during the COVID-19 pandemic. But as we hear from 680's Cormac McSweeney, a controversial addition to the legislation led to some last-minute drama and a backtrack from the Liberals.
The emergency bill is focused on the measures announced by the Prime Minister last week, including a boost to the Canada Child Benefit, expanding employment insurance, and a new benefit for people forced to stay home. But there was opposition outcry last night when it was revealed the draft bill had an additional measure that would have allowed the Trudeau government to change taxes and spend money over the next 21 months without getting parliamentary approval. Conservatives called it a power grab and said they wouldn't support a blank check for the Liberals. Hours later, the court sped off with Government House Leader Pablo Rodriguez saying in a tweet they're making changes to the draft bill following consultations with the other parties. The aid package is expected to be fully approved by tomorrow, with much of the cash flowing to Canadians early next month. Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
Coming up at 7:11. Traffic and weather together on the ones, including a collision on the westbound 401 at the 400 in the Collectors.
680 News Time 7:10.
Shoppers Drug Mart is now extending its 20% seniors discount to the first opening hour of each day. This in addition to its regular offer every Thursday in an effort to help senior customers. The hour will vary by store. Please see store for details.
Every hour, there's new information about the coronavirus. Now more than ever, turn to 680 News. We'll break down what you need to know to stay safe. This is 680 News at 680news.com.
City Streets east of westbound Queen at Shaw, the center lane blocked for rail repairs. Shepherd both ways east of the 400 down to a single lane for construction.
6 City News Time, 7:10.
Canada is rich with talent that can transform your business. But how do you find just the right person? Create a sponsored job post on Indeed.com. Indeed is Canada's #1 source for job applications and interviews, delivering 7 times more hires than all other job sites combined, according to Talent Nest in 2018. Sponsored job posts can increase visibility, helping you fill positions even faster. Go to Indeed.com/680news and get a $50 credit towards a sponsored post. Terms and conditions apply.
Lotomax now has draws on Tuesdays and Fridays. So how would this Tuesday's jackpot of $65 million plus an estimated 8 max millions change your Tuesday movie night?
Me? I get my own movie theater.
As your professional dream coach, I say go bigger.
The best theater in the world with a live orchestra and freshly churned butter for the popcorn.
Save me a seat in that dream. Tuesday's Lotomax jackpot is $65 million plus an estimated 8 max millions. With draws Tuesdays and Fridays, you can dream to the max.
6 City News Time, 7:11.
Traffic and weather together on the ones brought to you by Queensway Hyundai. Here's Zach Bodenstein.
Well, we're looking at one problem on the go right now. It is the westbound 401, a collision at the 400 and the collector's left lanes blocked for that. Emergency vehicles on scene, but no delay. It's as lightly traveled as it's been in a while on the major routes, so really not much going on in terms of this drive, but just one problem that I mentioned. Again, westbound 401 at the 400, collectors left lane blocked and crews on scene, but no real delay through there. The express, of course, the better option with that lane restriction, but still no significant slowdown traveling through the area with the collision. The rest of the major routes, no matter which direction you're going or which route you're on, they're all in really good shape. 407 ETR would like to thank all the healthcare workers and essential services who are working tirelessly for our communities through difficult times. 407ETR.com. Stay safe. With your forecast, Jill Taylor.
Still quite a bit of cloud for us right now, but we'll get into some sunshine. We've got a light northwest wind. We'll get into an east wind tonight. And again, sun and cloud for today. The guaranteed high 6 degrees, 2 for the low. The average low is -2. And tomorrow, mainly cloudy with a high about 7 degrees. Could hit 12 on Thursday. Right now, it's cloudy 2 at 680 News and in Pearson. Our guaranteed high today, 6.
6 City News Time, 7:13.
Now, the Dynamic Funds Market Minute.
Over to Mike Apple at the 680 Business Center.
And Catherine, right now we've got the Dow futures up, limit up 930 points, 5%. It's a good start expected here. On Bay and Wall Street, the price for oil seeing a bounce of $1.31 at $24.67, looking to recuperate from the loss of more than 5% that the TSX experienced in Monday's trading activity. Overseas, right now, the Frankfurt DAX index is the best performer in the Eurozone with a gain of better than 6%. London's up by 3.8%. The price for gold has jumped $88 at $16.61. Some traders there thinking there's deflation risk to come with all of the central banks buying bonds by the bushelful. And the Canadian dollar up a half cent, 69.42 cents US. At the Business Center, I'm Mike Apple.
Research shows that households with a financial advisor save at nearly twice the rate versus those who don't. To learn more, visit dynamic.ca/advice.
Still ahead on 680 News.
The Maple Leafs in-game announcer making dreams come true.
I'm doing your goal requests.
Your name like you scored at Scotiabank Arena.
6 City News Time, 7:14.
Some live to ski. Others ski to live. Introducing Bluemont. Blue Mountain Chalet living on 60-foot executive lots. Steps from the mountain. A lifetime of memories awaits you and your family. Chalets from $890,000. For more information or directions to our sales office, visit Premont.com.
I used to be one of those cranky jokers running a small business with no time for anyone else. Excuse me for a second.
Did you look in the truck?
But with QuickBooks, I get paid, stay organized, and run payroll. So now I can focus on training the next generation.
Nothing in the truck, eh? Okay, run to a hardware store and ask for a left-handed screwdriver. Don't take no for an answer.
QuickBooks, the easy way to a happier business. For a limited time, save 90% when you buy Intuit QuickBooks. Visit QuickBooks.ca for full offer details. This is All News Radio, 680 News.
2 degrees, cloudy. Good morning from the 680 News Broadcast Center in downtown Toronto. I'm Paul Cook.
I'm Catherine Jete. Here are the top stories right now.
Queen's Park releases its list of essential workplaces that can remain open during the COVID-19 outbreak. You can find it at 680news.com. Ford government will reportedly slash hydro rates for the next 45 days to help make up for the increased usage for those of us working from home or self-isolating during the pandemic. And still ahead on 680 News.
As Chinese authorities prepare to end a 2-month lockdown of most of Hubei province, ground zero for the coronavirus pandemic, Spain records another spike in the number of deaths and all non-essential activity being halted in the UK. Time now for 680 Sports.
From Sportsnet 590 The Fans, Simon Bennett.
Hey guys, and it's a heartbreaking announcement for junior hockey with the COVID-19 pandemic taking over every facet of life right now. The lights were turned off on the rest of the CHL season. No playoffs and no Memorial Cup this year. CHL President Dan McKenzie says he consulted with the heads of the 3 leagues before the decision was made, but it was pretty clear they had no other course of action. So the CHL season now officially over across the country. Meanwhile, you can pretty much count on the Olympics not happening this summer in Tokyo. Canadian IOC member Dick Pound on the preferred plan B.
The most realistic plan B for me would be a 1-year delay, with fingers crossed that we get a sufficient handle on the COVID virus. And the full Olympic program.
The IOC isn't expected to make the official decision until next month. Football, another long-time Patriot gone. Kicker Stephen Gostkowski reportedly released after 14 seasons in New England. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
680 News Time, 7:17.
Toronto is enriched by publicly owned services that help make this the best city in the world. From librarians who help us research projects, to public health nurses who keep us healthy, to recycling collectors who keep blue box materials out of landfills. These public services are integral to a vibrant and prosperous city because they're accountable to residents and good for both the economy and workers. You can support them by visiting yourcityto.ca. A message from the Canadian Union of Public Employees.
Something's always coming up. Home improvements, kids' education, car repairs, credit card bills. Maybe you even saw a real deal on an investment property. Well, don't wait for the money to fall from the sky. Call Northwood Mortgage and start taking care of business. Use your home to save money. Pay off your mortgage faster. See why Canadians have turned to Northwood Mortgage for over a quarter of a century.
Northwood Mortgage.
Visit NorthwoodMortgage.com.
We're working harder for you.
10349.
680 News Time, 7:18.
The lockdown eases in China at ground zero for the COVID-19 crisis. 680's Laura Carney's here live with the latest international developments surrounding the coronavirus pandemic. Laura.
And Paul, a rapid increase in the number of coronavirus deaths in Spain, rising by 514 in one day to nearly 2,700. The number of total cases there, almost 40,000. The BBC's Guy Hedgecoe is in Madrid and says COVID-19 is spreading through retirement homes.
Originally, the feeling is that the virus got into the home from people going in to visit, possibly from staff who didn't live in these homes and that were going in and out each day and bringing the virus with them.
And because of the rapid increase in deaths in Spain, authorities have had to turn an ice rink into a makeshift morgue in Madrid. In Italy, still the epicenter of the virus in Europe, another 600 deaths recorded in 24 hours. But the number of reported deaths did drop there for a second day in a row. Confusion rippling through Britain following an order from Prime Minister Boris Johnson to halt all non-essential activity. Photos from the morning commute showing crowded trains on the morning commute. And after 2 months, Chinese authorities will be lifting that lockdown at midnight of most of Hubei province. The city of Wuhan, where the outbreak started in late December, though, will remain locked down until April the 8th. Reporting live, Laura Carney, 680 News.
680 News Time, 7:19. Canada Post making more changes in response to the growing spread of the coronavirus. Your local post office will open 1 hour later and close 1 hour earlier to allow time to clean, restock, and provide some relief to employees. And when it comes to delivery to your door, John Hamilton of Canada Post says the approach now is knock, drop, and go.
The delivery agent will knock on the door, drop the parcel, and go to the next address. So we know everybody's home, and they don't get many guests these days. So
yeah, we know you're home.
Delivery comes up of the window. It's much better than opening door and just saying hi, because our people have to see hundreds, if not thousands, of people every single day as they're delivering.
Parcels left at the post office for pickup will not be returned to sender until further notice. On-time delivery guarantees for all parcel services have also been called off for the foreseeable future.
680 News Time 7:20.
1877 cars for kids. KARS.
I did not find the chain. I did find an Elton John Greatest Hits cassette tape. I'm not even fucking joking. Rocket Man. Daniel Honky Count. Goodbye, Yellow Brick. Holy fuck. Produced, copyright 72, 73, 74, eh? No shit. How the fuck do I lose something in 6 fucking square feet of space?
News Time 7:21. Traffic and weather together on the ones brought to you by Roto-Rooter Emergency Services. Here's Zach Bodenstein.
The drive getting even easier right now, Paul. The only problem we had, West 401 at the 400 collectors is now gone. So it's a smooth drive on the 401 in both directions. North-south route's also in good shape, so the 400 and the DVB 404. Looking at the Kiwi Gardner into and out of downtown looks great from Toronto all the way to St. Catharines and vice versa. Most importantly, we have those road conditions in good shape, so the weather cooperating. No rain, snow, ice, slush, nothing like that. Construction in place, Davenport down to a single lane, Bedford 2 Avenue for road work. Roto-Rooter is fully prepared to continue to serve you in this difficult time to help with any of your drain, plumbing, or disinfection needs. Contact them 24/7 online at rotorooter.com with your extended forecast. Here's Jill Taylor.
Pretty quiet weather stretch for today and tomorrow will stay dry, and it's on the mild side, especially as we work through the next couple of days. Sun and cloud today. It's rather cloudy now, but we'll get into some sunshine. The guaranteed high 6. Tonight, mainly clear and east wind, the low near 2, and about 7 tomorrow. Clouds will likely dominate tomorrow, and then showers move in for Thursday. But hey, Thursday's high, 12 degrees. Right now, it's cloudy, 2 at 680 News and Dick Yearson. The guaranteed high, 6.
And because Jill made the 680 News weather guarantee yesterday, our jackpot increases to $19,300. Coming up at 7:30, the LCBO, restaurant takeout and delivery, still a go in the COVID-19 crackdown. We'll tell you which businesses will still be allowed to stay open when the province's shutdown deadline takes effect at midnight tonight. 680 News Time, 7:23.
I found the one. Now I've got to find the ring.
Find it at Spence. They custom make every ring.
Everyone says that.
But not like Spence. Choose Earthmind or artisan created diamonds. Their cases are open, so you can choose from thousands of ring styles or design your own. So the only one to wear her ring
is a piece of fucking, it's a chunk of metal. It would go bang if it hits the floor.
What were you going to say?
I'm going to Spence.
Inspired by love, imagined by you, created by Spence.
In Scarborough,
I'm in a large room, like 10 feet wide. What the fuck? My fucking electrical shit fucking catches fire. It's wet for some fucking reason, even though it's not. It does.
This
it's not
is
on.
680 News. No hockey, but that doesn't mean a little Maple Leafs can't come to you. Game announcer, our Jeff Verholman, joins us now with the booming voice inside Scotiabank Arena. He's keeping busy. Jeff.
Yeah, Paul. Mike Ross does all the goals scored by, penalties, etc. And now he's taking our questions.
They take a few days, all right? I do have to rest the pipes once in a while.
At Rossi on the mic to send in your requests. Now, we're just lucky enough here to have our own personal announcer, Marley's voice, Simon Bennett.
Toronto goals scored by number 17, Jeff Verholman. Assisted by number 10, Mike Ethel, and by number 18, Jamie Pulver.
So cool, right?
Okay, where's my $5?
Okay, Simon, your part is done. Jeff Verholman, 680 News.
That number 18, Pulver, she's got wheels, man.
Sharp elbows, too.
Still ahead. Well, the stock market slump. There are two things that seem to be weathering the storm: real estate and coffee. Business in 60 seconds.
680 News Time, 7:25.
Here's your Burger Barn combo. That will be $17.50. Is that a new Grand Cherokee Trailhawk?
Yes, it is.
With the Select Track system?
Yeah, just got a great deal at the Jeep No Limits event.
Stay right there.
take me to your dealer. Okay. French fry? Thanks. The Jeep No Limit Sales Event. Get up to $14,295 in total discounts on select models. See your Jeep dealer for details.
First, your disability insurer denies your long-term disability claim, and then your employer threatens to fire you if you don't return to work. Sound familiar? My name is Aaron Waxman, and if your disability insurer denies your disability claim for any reason, or if your employer threatens to fire you because you're too sick to work, call me at 416-661-4878. And don't worry about upfront legal fees, because there are none. At my law firm, we only get paid when you get paid. And before you call, you should always remember that there are no bad questions. 416-661-4878 or on your cell phone at pound LTD.
6 City News Time, 7:26.
Now the business report with Mike Apple. What's going on, Mike? Well, Paul, I've been talking a lot about the massive moves on a daily basis in the stock markets and primarily big-time losses over the past month. One thing that has really held up well is real estate. Latest statistics in from John Basalis of Realosophy, telling the Toronto Star that home prices are continuing to trend up over the course of this month so far. 14.5% here in the GTA, higher than they were a year ago. And the number of sales also on the rise over the past week, although starting to slow a little bit from the previous week's statistics. They're figuring that the real estate market will start to show signs of slowing down. There is no getting around the fact that things have been shut down and only essential services. There are no open houses planned, certainly. At the same time, you can do transactions virtually at this point. So we're going to track the real estate market and see how it shapes up here over the near term. Same thing going on reportedly in Vancouver. Another asset class that does not seem to be showing any signs of diminished prices, the coffee market. In fact, coffee futures Monday in New York trade and the commodity trade jumped by about 5% and hit a 2-month high. That is on the talk of a labor shutdown in Venezuela and some other things affecting the coffee growing regions. We have seen shares of Starbucks this morning jump by as much as 10% in pre-market action as activist investor Bill Ackman said that he's starting to put some money to work, putting about $2.5 billion back into the equity market through his hedge funds, saying that stocks have been oversold, and he's buying back into positions that he previously held, for example, in Starbucks, among others. We have a major bounce.
He's buying back in as the price has dropped.
By a gain of 900 points, or close to 5%. This as the markets Monday sold off with no clear conclusion to the stimulus talk out of Washington. A second attempt at a stimulus plan failed in the U.S. Senate. We'll try again today. We also are looking at the price for gold, seeing one of its biggest daily uptrends in recent memory, with the precious metal up by $110 at its best level, $1,675 an ounce in U.S. funds. Price for oil also up by 5.25%. At the Business Center, I'm Mike Apple.
Hello, it's Jeff from Reliance Home Comfort. We know things are uncertain right now, but if you need furnace, hot water, or plumbing help, we're here for you. Understanding the seriousness of the current situation, we're taking great pains to make sure that any visit to your home is safe for you as well as our Reliance team members. So if you find yourself in need of a heating or plumbing professional, we're here for you 24
Canadian
hours a day,
an ounce.
7 days a week. As always, when you need help you can trust, just call on Reliance.
Hey guys, it's never a good look when you untuck a long, bulky dress shirt. It just looks sloppy. That's why Untuckit makes shirts specifically designed to be worn untucked. And not only do they look good, they feel great too. Untuckit offers 50 fit combinations, so tall, short, slim, and bigger guys can experience the perfect fitting shirt. While our stores are temporarily closed, please go to untuckit.ca, where you can browse and purchase from our extensive new spring line. Use promo code your entire first purchase. Untuckit.ca.
Use promo code and get something.
Right now, we're at 2 degrees and cloudy in downtown Toronto. 680 News Time, 7:30.
Number 1 for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Here are Paul Cook and Catherine Chatay. Good morning. It's Tuesday, March 24th.
Here's what's making news right now. All non-essential businesses in Ontario have to close by midnight tonight. Among the 74 types of businesses allowed to remain open, healthcare, grocery stores, pharmacies, LCBO, and beer stores.
Is the coronavirus really as bad as we're being told? A new poll finds 20% of Canadians are not taking this pandemic seriously.
Why is Trump lies and Americans die now trending on Twitter?
America will again and soon be open for business.
Scary words at a time when this pandemic is accelerating.
A small number of MPs head back to the House of Commons today to pass the $82 billion financial aid package for the COVID-19 pandemic, but the Trudeau government forced to backtrack on a controversial spending measure.
The junior hockey season officially over. The Memorial Cup and CHL playoffs all canceled last night, while the plan B appears to be 2021 for the Olympics. Sports at 45.
Morning markets looking much better. Dow futures limit higher by 5%. A lot of energy companies are lowering their capital spending plans, adjusting to the new normal for oil prices. Business at 56. 6:50 News Time, 7:31.
Time for 6:50 News. Traffic and weather together on the ones for Seneca. In the 680 Traffic Center, here's Zach Bodenstein.
Really not much happening on the drive, Catherine. Looking at the cameras all over, really just trying to see what it's looking like. It's lightly traveled. It's also really keeping up with those road conditions, everything in good shape, so they're up to par right now. Or really on the Kiwi Gardner, things are looking good into and out of downtown, really all the way up to St. Catharines and back. 400, 401, DVP 404, all of those routes in good shape. I will mention some construction though in North York Shepherd, just east of the 400, one lane getting by from Oakdale to Laura, and then Davenport down to a single lane as well from Bedford to Avenue. Seneca students can take anything on: an uncertain future, a changing economy, and careers that don't even exist yet. Join the Seneca Proud. Challenge accepted. With the forecast, here's Jill Taylor.
It's cloudy now, some sunshine to enjoy though, and it'll be mainly clear tonight. Right now, 2 degrees, cloudy at 680 News, and at Pearson, the guaranteed high today, 6.
680 News Time, 7:32.
As the province grapples with the COVID-19 pandemic, we now know which businesses the Ford government considers essential services ahead of tonight's midnight shutdown of those that are apparently not.
The full list was released last night. Our Kevin Meisner joins us live from Queen's Park with some of the highlights. Kevin. Well, Paul, this list of businesses considered essential is a long one with 74 type of businesses included. Among them, some of the obvious ones: hospitals and healthcare, grocery stores and pharmacies, along with their supply chains, gas, water, electricity, utilities, and telecommunications and internet providers. Also on the list, however, and allowed to remain open beyond midnight tonight, transit and taxi service, pet food stores, and most construction projects, even residential, as well as the cannabis stores. LCBO and beer stores will not be closing either. Toronto Medical Officer of Health Dr. Eileen DeVilla calls that actually reasonable, considering the negative effect of cutting off access completely. And that would cause to some people.
I think we have to be very conscious of that fact, alcohol. Then they're in the hospital with overloading the healthcare.
That no longer, that substance, that provision is no longer available, that would lead to pretty significant health consequences.
The LCBO is planning to close on Monday starting next week, as well as restricting the number of customers inside their stores. Also on the essential list, laundromats, dry cleaners, and auto repair shops. No change for restaurants. They can stay open for takeout and delivery only. You can read the full list at our website at 680news.com.
The
closure order for non-essential businesses lasts for 14 days. It'll be reevaluated after that time. And Premier Doug Ford will be joined by Energy Minister Greg Rakeford for
call you dirty to wear the same clothes for 3 days.
It is widely expected he will announce a cut in electricity rates, a temporary cut starting today and for 45 days to compensate for increased residential usage, as so many people are working from home or self-isolating. For the next 45 days, the rates will be down to the current off-peak overnight and weekend charges of just over 10 cents per kilowatt hour. At Queen's Park, Kevin Meisner, 680 News.
680 News Time 7:34. A surprising number of Canadians does not appear to be heeding the warnings from government and health officials amid this pandemic. Our Carl Hansky joins us live from downtown with the findings of a new poll. Carl.
Yeah, Catherine, the Leger poll found 1 in 5 Canadians believe this coronavirus pandemic is being blown out of proportion. This man is one of them. He thinks it's not as serious as we're being told.
What concerns me is that the media is creating like this mass panic for people who can't think for themselves.
To the doubters like him, though, the other 80% of Canadians say,
yeah, it's smart enough and just listen to the government.
You're not closing retail stores and closing stuff down for no reason. You're not laying people off for no reason. Open your eyes.
The poll also found 20% of respondents are not practicing social distancing or have changed daily habits like going to the store or visiting family. 10% say they still would let their kids play outside with other children.
Oh, why?
You morons. 680 News Time 7:35. Opening now, morning markets looking better, seeing a bounce after plunging during the Monday session.
What kind of fucking voodoo is that?
Lowest level in 9 years. And with
fucking power bar.
Trade, the price per
I
gas
press
is
off
set to
and it
drop
don't
again
turn
by this
on.
time tomorrow. Our Mike Heppel joins us live from the 680 Business Center.
Cigarette,
Yeah, good morning, Paul. We're looking right now at the stock futures actually limit up, and that means the trading curves are in effect to the positive, keeping the Dow from a gain above the 900 points that is currently being predicted here from the futures trading activity. Overseas, we're looking at a 6% gain for Germany, a 4% advance for the London FT100. So some analysts think that the market is in an oversold condition. So regardless of the minute-by-minute headlines on the spread of COVID-19, there is some money coming back into the equity trade. This is a day after the TSX closed at its lowest level in 9 years after a drop of more than 600 points. And that was led by the energy sector again as the price for wholesale gas cratered on international markets. The net result of that, well, this time tomorrow morning, the price here in the GTA will be down another 8 cents per liter to below 66 cents. At the Business Center, I'm Mike Heppel.
680 News Time 7:37. Reopen America or save Americans? A shocking debate over protecting the economy at the expense of human lives is emerging south of the border in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. And many believe Donald Trump is set to double down on the Dow. 680's Jamie Pulver is here live with the story and reaction. Jamie.
Yeah, Catherine, I'm reading messages online saying he will kill us all. And our government is openly discussing sacrificing millions of lives for profit. That should terrify you more than the pandemic. Here's what they're talking about.
America will again and soon be open for business. Very soon, a lot sooner than 3 or 4 months that somebody was suggesting.
That somebody the president is talking about is top U.S. infectious disease expert Dr. Anthony Fauci, who was noticeably absent from this latest briefing. The president now accused of being more focused on the economy than saving lives, according to CNN's Don Lemon.
It is abundantly clear that he is itching to ease up on social distancing restrictions when the 15-day period ends, and that is a week from now.
Health experts warning it's time to double down, not lighten up on social distancing measures. More than 40,000 infected, more than 500 dead in the U.S., 100 just yesterday alone. New York City is the biggest concern, where the rate of people getting sick is 5 times more likely than any other U.S. city. Reporting live, Jamie Pulver, 680 News.
680 News Time 7:38. You're with Toronto's only all-news radio 680 News. 32 members of Parliament returning to the House of Commons today for a one-day session to greenlight the $82 billion financial aid package to deal with the impacts of COVID-19. But as we hear from 680's Parliament Hill reporter Cormac McSweeney, the legislation is coming with some last-minute controversy.
The main goal of the emergency legislation is to approve measures to help struggling workers and businesses through this pandemic. But a draft of the bill sparked fierce criticism because it had a provision that would have allowed the Trudeau government to raise or lower taxes and borrow and spend money without having to go through the checks and balances of Parliament. That would have lasted until the end of next year. Conservatives were quick to condemn the move as a power grab in a time of crisis, and late last night the government backtracked, with House Leader Pablo Rodriguez tweeting after consultations with the opposition, they're changing the legislation. The bill will now focus on initiatives like boosting the Canada Child Benefit and expanding employment insurance. It's expected to get quick approval in the House and pass the Senate tomorrow. Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
Coming up at 7:41, we'll have traffic and weather together.
680 News Time, 7:39.
Our homeboys up. I gotta tell
is now extending its 20% seniors discount to the first opening hour of each day. This in addition to its regular offer every Thursday in an effort to help senior customers. The hour will vary by store. Please see store for details.
The first hour.
It's all about the numbers. And if we're off by more than...
In order to show up an hour before the store opens, make it the first fucking hour.
City streets, Davenport from Bedford to Avenue Road, down to a single lane each way for construction, and north and southbound York from Bremner to Front, the right lane blocked for ongoing construction.
680 News Time, 7:40.
Hi, I'm Shmuel, and I have a physical disability. Easter Seals Ontario helped me get accessibility equipment like a stair lift, so I can get to my bedroom on my own. I also have a power wheelchair so I can get around. Without it, I'm stuck at home. When I grow up, I want to go to university and be a psychiatrist. With your help, Easter Seals kids can become...
That shit was hanging. The chain was over a thing and around the crust. You couldn't pull it off after it landed somehow. You would not have been able to pull that off accidentally.
Remember the name Duca. Jaspreet Duca and his team have options. If you're a first-time buyer, self-employed, or on commission.
Alright, sometimes this box freezes up. Occasionally. What was weird is the number of times it will freeze up about 5 minutes before I wake up and the clock is frozen. I don't realize right away. And then 10 minutes goes by and I look and the clock is frozen. I flip off the power bar, I count to like 3 and turn it back on. I go to turn off the power bar, the light doesn't turn off. And the thing doesn't restart. And I look at it again and I turn it on, off. On, off, it stays red. And then smoke starts coming out of it. There's water on the back of the fucking thing somehow. And it's not on the floor or against the wall. It's up on top of something. It doesn't matter. Fucking the chain came off of me and hung up on that. How the fuck did that happen? I didn't do that. I wouldn't have been able to do that where I was laying down. I would have had to lay the other way or some shit. What the fuck is going on, eh? All I know is voodoo. I'm so scared. I'm so scared. The fuck was that? Oh, a piece of plastic. That don't matter. Some fuckery shit. Some fuckery. No, you know what? This one opens up on its own occasionally too, apparently. So I'm not going to wear that one right now.
That's a jump of 4.5%, and it's of course coming off that sell-off that we saw Monday.
People have to ask if I
Tuesdays in store for the markets. We're watching overseas trends significantly to the upside. The German benchmark Frankfurt DAX index is now up by more than 6%. Pre-market Apple gaining 4%. Carnival Corporation, cruise ship operator, up by 7%. Microsoft gaining 3.5%, and GE gaining 5%. The price for oil now up $1.10, 4.7%. $24.45 a barrel. Gold is up by almost $100 an ounce at $6.67. The Canadian dollar at 69.25 cents US. At the Business Center, I'm Micah.
We all need advice from time to time. Why should investing be any different? Speak to a financial advisor today and visit dynamic.ca/advice to learn more.
Still to come on 680 News.
COVID-19 fashion about to step it up thanks to luxury labels getting into the medical mask business.
680 News Time, 7:44.
That helps.
Canada is rich with talent that can transform your business. But how do you find just the right person? Create a sponsored job post on Indeed.com. Indeed is Canada's #1 source for job applications and interviews, delivering 7 times more.
Was that more than 20 seconds that I was running that water? Was it more than 20 seconds?
Sponsored job posts can increase visibility, helping you fill positions even
Just
faster.
watched until they were clean. What the fuck's this 20 seconds shit? You don't know when your hands are either clean or they're not clean. How the fuck you gotta count to 20?
Garrett.ca is the
What's wrong with
fastest
you?
way to get real estate listings in real time. In fact, it's so fast. In the time it takes me to tell you this, I could have reached out to a TREB member realtor, checked out about a half dozen property listings, skimmed a couple of market reports, crunched some numbers with their land transfer tax calculator, spotted my dream home, moved in, and had a nap. So what are you waiting for? Be fast. Be first. For all your real estate needs, choose TREB.ca, powered by TREB's MLS system with exposure to 60,000 realtor users.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
Sun and cloud today with a guaranteed high of 6 degrees. Good morning from the 680 News Broadcast Center.
The one thing in the house I got that shouldn't catch fire on its own is the power bar.
To flatten the curve, non-essential businesses are being ordered closed as of midnight tonight. The province has unveiled a list of essential workplaces that will remain open, and it includes LCBO and beer stores.
A new poll conducted over the weekend finds 1 in 5 Canadians isn't following social distancing guidelines amid the COVID-19 pandemic.
Members from all federal parties come together today in Ottawa to pass an $82 billion spending
There's
bill
nobody
aimed at
around,
Canadians
and Buddy
under
steps in my face 3 fucking times to whisper that he needs cigarettes.
Go to 680news.com.
I'm wearing bandanas with the green fucking leaves. I can't fucking get rid of these people. Nobody gives a fuck about the cops on that shit. Don't breathe in my face or I'll kill you.
There'll be no playoffs across the CHL this year, and the 102nd Memorial Cup in Kelowna canceled. A statement last night officially ending the season not even 2 weeks after games were shut down. And the statement, the CHL says they hope and look forward to presenting the Memorial Cup in 2021 and an OHL city, the only 2 bidders for next year, Oshawa and Sault Ste. Marie. Meanwhile, it appears the IOC will indeed postpone the Tokyo Olympics. We have reports this morning with Japanese officials meeting with IOC boss Thomas Bach over the phone, where it's expected pushing back the games to next year will be discussed at the request of Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. We may hear more on that later this morning. UEFA officially postponing the Champions League final scheduled for May 30th. The hope remains the domestic leagues can finish their seasons by the end of June. Sports 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
680 News Time, 7:47.
Local radio is awesome. Every day it connects millions of Canadians to their communities with local news, traffic, and weather, local sports, entertainment, and events. But don't just take my word for it. There's also my mom.
Hello.
My sister and her kids.
Hi.
My buddy Dave around the corner.
Yo.
The guys at my neighborhood pizza place.
Hey.
My coworkers.
Hi.
My local taxi driver.
Hey.
Even weird Uncle Andy. Go on, put my finger. Yeah. Local radio is where you live.
I joined because I wanted to help others.
To be a part of something bigger.
To show my kids what's important.
I joined to make my community stronger.
To make a difference in someone's life.
To acknowledge that our freedoms come at a cost.
You're not acknowledging your racist anti-Indian rules.
My neighbor.
I'm not acknowledging your claim to being illegitimate.
Honoring veterans is our duty.
Yeah,
Join today
that.
at legion.ca/join.
680 News Time, 7:48. Our coverage of the coronavirus pandemic continues now with 680's Laura Carney, who joins us live with the latest international developments. Laura
and Catherine, we begin with shocking numbers out of Spain, where there has been a rapid increase in the number of coronavirus deaths, forcing city authorities in Madrid to turn an ice rink into a makeshift morgue. The number of dead increasing by 514 in one day to nearly 2,700. The number of total cases in Spain, almost 40,000. Italy, the country with the world's worst outbreak, reporting 602 more deaths on Monday, but a small glimmer of of hope from there. The number of reported deaths did drop in Italy for a second day in a row. Now at midnight, Chinese authorities will be lifting the 2-month lockdown in most of Hubei province. As CNN's Stephen Zhang reports, though, the city of Wuhan, where the outbreak started in late December, will remain locked down until April 8th.
Before they announced this news, they actually just recorded a new locally transmitted case in Wuhan after 5 days of 0 local cases. So this is very much a dynamic situation, but still, this announcement marks a major step
so
towards
this is still a very dynamic situation. That's a good way to put it, buddy.
Measures placed on Wuhan and its surrounding province since late January.
And in the UK, Prime Minister Boris Johnson has ordered a 3-week halt to all non-essential activity. However, photos from the morning commute still showing crowded trains amid confusion about who is allowed to go to work. Reporting
nobody.
680 News.
The fuck is so hard to understand? Why is the bus driver picking people up? He should be telling people, don't get on.
Coronavirus is coming to light. NBC medical correspondent Dr. John Torres says many patients temporarily lose their sense of smell and taste.
Coronavirus is a respiratory virus, and it invades your nose and throat, so it can interfere with the special nerve receptors that signal smell to your brain. And once you lose your sense of smell, you can also lose your sense of taste. The major concern is that in some patients,
there's your sense of smell. Tell it straight,
so if you
motherfucker.
suddenly lose your sense of smell and don't have allergies, that's a red flag. Call your doctor. You'll likely need to self-isolate for 14 days so you don't spread it to others. The good news is we're hearing once patients recover, they regain their senses quickly in just a few days or weeks.
The group representing head and neck surgeons in the U.S. has called for the lack of sense of smell and taste to be added to the list of screening tools for COVID-19.
Really?
Coming up in 60 seconds, traffic and weather together. 680 News Time, 7:50.
I used to be one of those
I know, I've had so many fucking people go, oh, you can't smell this or that because you smoke. I can smell you. Get the fuck away from me.
I get paid, stay organized, and
my weed stinks, so my cigarettes stink.
For the next generation.
The fucking white guy with a black kid in his building
for a left-handed screwdriver.
has to look to see who it is and goes, oh,
The easy way to have your business. For
I
limited
can
time,
smell you
save
before I
90%
see
when
you. He
buy
has to
2
think
quick
for a
books.
second.
For deep-
They say they can smell.
Maybe.
Bullshit.
You just made
What's
that
wrong with
word
the damn
up.
video?
No, I didn't. It's commonly
See,
used.
this is why I don't fucking put any work into my videos.
The word
I don't put any work in because they all get fucked up, and it seems to be based on whatever the subject you're talking about is.
Where homeowners get approved, and maybe homeowners get approved, maybe, and we make up words sometimes. Alpine credits. Some conditions apply. FSRA license 12616.
7:51.
Time for 680 News, traffic and weather together on the lines for mymuskokacottages.com. Here's Zach Bodenstein.
It is likely travel out there on the major routes. Again, we're really not seeing much happening. Looking through all the
I said it's not
cameras, trying to find
unstable.
something. Lightly travel
crashing my
drive
system,
on
you
your
fucking
major
whore.
highways,
I
especially.
can see
We
you
haven't
doing
seen
it when I
any
see
sort of
fucking
volume
things
delay at
clicking
this
shit all
point
over the
that's been
screen.
going on, and we don't have any issues, restrictions, no
Script
construction
kiddies,
to
you
report.
call them.
There is road work though that's set up on city streets. Shepherd down to 1 lane from Oakdale to Laura, which is just east of the 400, and then Davenport only 1 lane getting through from Bedford over to Avenue. $60 million worth of luxury cottages await your arrival. Muskoka realtor Bob Clark is excited to showcase these fabulous lakefront properties. Visit mymuskokacottages.com. With the extended forecast, here's Jill Taylor.
Well, milder temperatures for us for the rest of the week. We'll stay dry today and tomorrow, and then Thursday we get back into some showers. But let's start with today first. And we've got still quite a bit of cloud, but lots of sunshine today. The guaranteed high 6 for tonight, mainly clear. More of an east wind tonight, up to about 25 kilometers per hour, but the low near 2, above average. The average low is -2, and then tomorrow mainly cloudy and 7. For Thursday, those showers, and we could hit 12 degrees. Right now, it's cloudy, 2 at 680 News, and up here. So we've got a very light wind out of the north-northwest. Guaranteed high today, 6.
I'm watching menus
Coming up at 8 o'clock, non-essential businesses ordered to shut down at midnight tonight. We'll have the list of workplaces allowed to remain open. This is a new poll shows Not everyone is taking the COVID-19 pandemic seriously.
City News Time, 7:53.
Looking for a more
delete my YouTube bookmarks.
Premier Suites, they believe that
You logged me out of Facebook. Oh, I'm getting so upset.
and the safety of home. As Canada's largest provider of fully furnished
How the
temporary
fuck this
residences
got wrapped
with fully
around
equipped
that?
kitchens and suite laundry, Premier Suites provides beautiful homes from coast to coast with 24/7 guest support and professional cleaning. Choose from over 1,300 spectacular condos and townhomes across Canada. Find out more at premiersuites.com. Premier Suites. Stay safe.
News
Is always changing.
now more than ever.
Listen 3, 4, 5 times a day.
This is 680 News.
Ask for us on your smart speaker.
COVID-19 safety could soon be getting a lot more fashionable. Our Jeff Verhoeven is here to explain.
Is it fashionable?
Catherine, we heard about
Bitch.
breweries and distilleries shifting to making
I made staying in the
sanitizer. Well,
house
now
all
some big
fucking
name
day
fashion
fashionable.
labels have decided to get into the mask business. Both Yves Saint Laurent and Balenciaga saying they're going to start making masks as soon as the manufacturing process and materials are approved. No word on how many masks these labels will make or what they'll look like or
It doesn't make sense. You're going to make your own mask. Everything else you hire out. These you're going to make yourself. Fucking bullshit.
But imagine being the
Hey,
person
you know what the factories are that make these things? Indonesia, Philippines, and China. Ha ha ha.
Hey, any little bit helps. Jeff Verhoeven, 680 News.
Starting today,
listen
the
to what they just said the
TTC is
price
asking
was. I
people to
don't care.
board buses and streetcars from the rear doors only. It's also refusing cash, tickets, and tokens, all in an effort to protect drivers. Meanwhile, new numbers from the TTC show a big drop in ridership over the last week. Daily Presto taps have dropped 70%. Coming up in 60 seconds, we'll have the business report including a collapse for economic activity in
Oh,
Europe,
see
but
ya.
a bounce for morning markets.
680 News Time, 7:55.
Introducing Montfair by Fremont. A new mid-rise condominium residence coming soon to Brampton. Ideally located between Virgin Parkland and a spectacular new urban park. Only minutes to the GO station in charming Mount Pleasant Village. Enjoy a convenient, connected lifestyle in a unique community. 1 and 2 bedroom suites starting from the mid-300s. Register at Fremont.com.
The Government of Canada and public health experts are taking action to protect Canadians from COVID-19. Protect yourself and others, especially those with medical conditions and older adults. Wash your hands often. Avoid touching your face. Cough or sneeze into your arm and disinfect surfaces. You should also avoid crowded places. Avoid all non-essential travel outside of Canada. And if you're sick, stay home. To learn more, visit canada.ca/coronavirus. A message from the Government
Can you
of
please
Canada.
tell these morons? This is very controversial, Mr. Censor. You better hit the button quick. Can you please tell these morons that lemon juice and vinegar don't kill anything? Nothing, you can inject both of them. At the same time, you know what'll happen? Nothing.
Basically at the lowest level in the Eurozone's history. The IHS market measure of private sector activity plunged to a reading of around 34% for this month. Now, anything below 50 is break even. It was above that 50 handle in the February data. So the dramatic drop in business activity in the Eurozone had previously been indicated in China and is expected to filter through to the North American economy in short order. This is a result of the COVID-19 pandemic shutting down businesses, and we're watching this all play out in the stock markets with the benchmarks on Bay and Wall Street hitting multi-year lows in Monday's trade. The TSX, in fact, starting today's lowest level since 2011. Dropped more than 600 points Monday. Now, we are watching a bounce for markets despite the economic data, simply because of central bank activity. The European Central Bank talking about even more economic stimulus on top of what's already been announced. And the U.S. Federal Reserve, some say yesterday they announced what was, in effect, a bazooka against the markets. Others say it was more like a cannon shot as they basically announced unlimited bond buying initiatives.
Please keep freezing the shit, because the best way to make sure I don't say something stupid on the air is to turn it on and off over and over on me.
More than $2 trillion economic
So I can
stimulus
cuss
plan that is
thinking I'm
still
not even
working its
online,
way through
right?
the Senate. Still no resolution though. But to get
Picture
down
with my mouth hanging open, but I'm sitting here with my mouth closed. I know how to do that. I know how to edit video on the fly.
at the opening bell. We are looking at a massive move in precious metals. The Express Gold Refining XAU.ca gold price update this morning has gold up by nearly $100 per ounce, a jump of 6.25% at $1,670. You convert that into Canadian funds, and you're well north of $2,000 per ounce. Basically a record highs. This as some investors think that gold is still the safe haven, even though it hadn't been acting as much like that earlier in this market route. So you also
really, it's done nothing but go up.
About deflation.
It's not worth it. I won't buy it from you, and I won't take it from payment.
Money goes through the system.
You think I'm joking? Get the fuck out of it. You can throw it on the ground. I won't pick it up.
Canadian dollar hovering at 69 cents US at the Business Center. I'm Mike Apple.
At Tim Hortons, we're proud to serve all of our communities across
$2,400 per ounce. I can get a fucking bag of pure cocaine. Why the fuck would I buy a piece of metal? Fucking hell, man. I'm gonna buy something stupid.
Our drive-thrus are
I
here
should
for
buy
you.
something I can resell or fucking use. I can't do nothing with gold. I can't even work with. I can't make something out of gold. I gotta find a jeweler to make some out of it.
We want to be the kind of good neighbor that every community deserves. Tim's proudly serving our community.
Things all melted.
1877 cars for kids.
Fucking not even straight. I didn't even realize. This is not all burnt. Look.
1877 cars for kids. Donate your car today.
See that bend? See the bend?
For kids.ca.
What the fuck did that happen?
Pick up as quick and
Oh,
easy.
how was
You'll
that
benefit
right?
a child and get a maximum tax credit.
1877 cars for kids. Donate your
The smoke was coming out of the switch.
RVs and truck donations.
The fuck?
In downtown Toronto, it's cloudy and 2 degrees. 680 news with CFTR AM Toronto. It's 8 o'clock.
Breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News, Toronto.
Here are Paul Cook and Catherine Jeté.
Good morning. This is Tuesday, the 24th of March.
Here's what's making news right now.
Oh, I know what time it was. I can't make that status bar go away.
Ontario, including healthcare, grocery, pharmacies, pet food stores, and construction, even LCBO beer and cannabis stores.
A new poll finds 1 in 5 Canadians believe this pandemic is not as serious as we're being told.
Up and just listen to
Really?
the
Come here.
Carl Hansky, what you think?
What is Donald Trump doing?
We're not going to let the cure be worse than the problem.
The U.S. president accused of choosing the economy over the safety of Americans as
You don't
the
have an
death
economy.
rate
You're the
continues to
United
climb.
States.
The Trudeau
Stupid.
government's $82
You have
billion
no economy.
coronavirus aid package will be debated
know.
when the
All
House
the
of Commons
cocaine
briefly
and crack
resumes
and
today.
guns come
But
from
the
the
Liberals
US, so
under
I should be
fire for
careful, right?
attempting to
None of
squeeze
it
in
comes
new
from the
powers
US.
for taxing and
Pussy.
spending.
Why do you think they catch somebody every 2 years doing that? Because that's the only person dumb enough to do it.
And it looks like the Olympics will indeed be pushed back a year. Sports at 15.
Stock futures pointing to a gain of 1,000 points on the Dow this morning, a day after the markets hit multi-year lows. The price for oil also on the rebound, and we're looking at a production pivot for some of the big automakers. Business at 26.
680 News Time, 8:01.
Traffic and weather together on the ones brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Here's Zach Bodenstein.
It's more of the same thing, which is good news for drivers. Everything's looking great on the major routes. Lightly traveled. The weather is cooperating, so those road conditions are in solid shape. You'll find it a good drive into and out of downtown on the QE Gardner and the DVP 404. The 401 looking good across the city as well. We'll look at some construction off the major highways. Shepherd, only one lane getting by both ways from Oakdale to Laura, just east of the 400. And Davenport is down to a single lane from Bedford to Avenue as well for some construction. Missing the sweet sizzle of St. Louis, you can still enjoy the comfort food you need right now from St. Louis Bar and Grill with takeout or delivery. Visit stlouiswings.com for participating locations. With the forecast, here's Jill Taylor.
A pretty quiet weather day today. Some cloud, mainly clear tonight. Right now, still cloudy too. It's 680 News and at Pearson, the guaranteed high 6.
680 News Time, 8:02.
The fight to flatten the curve ramps up today, with non-essential businesses in this province ordered to shut down at midnight.
Queen's Park has released a list of workplaces deemed essential that will be allowed to stay open during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Why not appliance shops?
Joins us live with a closer look. Kevin?
Well, Catherine, many of the 74 types of businesses the province deems essential are understandable. Hospitals and healthcare, grocery stores and pharmacies, along with their suppliers,
you know how
gas, water, and electricity utilities, as well as telecommunications and internet providers. But also allowed to stay open beyond midnight tonight, laundromats and dry cleaners, as well as most construction projects, even residential. LCBO and beer stores will not be closing either, although the LCBO is planning to close on Monday starting next week. They're also restricting the number of customers inside their stores. Toronto Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Eileen Davila, says closing the LCBO would create a major health problem for a segment of the population.
Whether we care to admit it or not, there are many people in our community who have significant dependence issues with respect to alcohol. And I think we have to be very conscious of that fact.
The province is also keeping its cannabis shops open. Restaurants can continue as they are with takeout delivery only. You can read the full list on the website at 680news.com. This closure order for non-essential businesses will last 14 days minimum. And a significant announcement is coming this afternoon from Premier Doug Ford. It's at 1 p.m. He will be joined by Energy Minister Greg Rickford, and government sources are confirming to me that a temporary cut in residential hydro rates will be announced to compensate customers for their increased usage as so many people are working from home or self-isolating. For the next 45 days, starting today, rates will be lowered to the current off-peak overnight and weekend rate of about 10 cents per kilowatt hour. At Queen's Park, Kevin Meisner, 680 News. 680 News Time 804. As you can probably guess from all the photos of courtyard gatherings and packed playgrounds popping up on your social media feed, not everyone's taking this global pandemic seriously. Carl Hansky joins us live from downtown with the results of a weekend poll revealing many Canadians are not following social distance guidelines. Carl.
That's right, Paul. 1 in 5 Canadians, or 20%, tell a Leger poll that they believe this coronavirus pandemic is being blown out of proportion. Here downtown, this man's one of them. He calls the crisis government and media propaganda.
So it's creating fear, and then it's making people panic.
Nobody's afraid or panicking, you moron.
They're not following
so where's the logic? If no one is afraid or panicking, where's the logic?
The stores or restaurants or visiting friends and family. That mindset of
conspiracy to drive up the price of gas when the price of gas went down.
All you have to do is look at images coming out of Italy, Spain, France, Germany right now to tell you that this is serious.
The poll also found 1 in 10 adults still plan to let their kids play outside with other children. Reporting live, Carl Hansky, 680 News.
That's so ignorant.
680 News Time 8:05.
They've already come on and said kids don't really get affected by this, but they pass it on.
But for a change, it's actually a positive. Stocks seeing a bounce after plunging yesterday, while the price for gas will be coming down again later tonight. Mike Apple joins us live from the 680 Business Center. Mike.
Catherine, we've got the Dow futures pointing to a jump of 900 points on the blue chip stock average on Wall Street at the opening trades this morning, a day after the Dow dropped close to 600 and the TSX was down by more than 5.25%. So the volatility will persist. We're seeing some buying activity on some of the companies that have been crushed in the sell-off, companies in the airline industry, for example. Some of the biggest names in tech also trading to the upside this morning. The price for oil is also seeing a move up by 54 cents at $23.91. That's a jump of 2.25%. But expect
the mouse doesn't work.
Remaining volatile. That's easy to say, considering right now we've still got this price war. The Saudis are not backing down from Canada.